Please do be seated. As Secretary and Clerk, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. Graduation ceremonies follow a tradition that began in the 15th century, and that tradition has evolved since. Roughly translated, graduation means taking a step. And graduation symbolizes the move of the former student, now called a graduand, into a new role in wider society as a graduate, there to use the talents developed as a member of this academic society. Each graduand will cross the stage and shake hands with the Vice-Chancellor to symbolize their transition to this new role, and we will applaud them for their success so far and in anticipation of their contribution to society in future. At the end of the ceremony, the Vice-Chancellor will formally admit all those who have crossed the stage, symbolizing that each and every graduate is now incorporated into the community of scholars. As new members of this community, as the academic procession leaves the stage, the new graduates will join the procession, and that will conclude the proceedings. During the ceremony, those graduating with higher degrees will have their hood placed on them by the Vice-Chancellor to mark that they have attained the very highest levels of academic achievement. It is now time to begin our formal proceedings, and so I hereby declare the ceremony to be in session, and I call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin, to address you. Vice-Chancellor.
Graduands, family, friends, colleagues. As Vice-Chancellor of Anglia Ruskin University, it's my very great pleasure to be here today at this your graduation ceremony. This is my first year at ARU, and this autumn's graduations are the first that I'm fortunate enough to be part of. Congratulations on reaching this milestone and graduating from your chosen course. Today, it's not only an opportunity to take stock and celebrate what is a very significant achievement, but also to take some time to look forward to the multitude of careers that are going to stretch out in front of each of you. These careers will undoubtedly be wide and varied, but they will be joined by a common theme that will touch on each of you. That theme is change, an unpredictable change at that. My academic background is medicine, but even before I started my time at university, and certainly since, I've had an interest and engagement with computers and digital technology. My two daughters refer to me kindly as a geek and unkindly as much worse. But I'm going to use both that interest and my medical background to put in context what I mean by change. The German philosopher Hegel commented that the only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. He may have been right in some contexts, but he was absolutely wrong in at least one. We have learnt from history that we're actually absolutely terrible at predicting that future. Just a few historical examples to say what I mean. 19th century. The telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. Western Union internal memo in 1876. We can laugh at the Americans, but in the same year the British were not much better. The Americans have need of the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys. Sir William Preece, who was chief engineer at the time at the post office. You might have thought we'd begin to learn. We got into the 20th century and it was evident we hadn't. Thomas Watson, who ran IBM in the 1940s and 50s. I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Again, did we learn? No, we didn't. Ken Olsen, who ran DEC in the 1970s, the biggest computer company at the time. There is no reason in the world anyone would want a computer in their home. No reason. And a name much more familiar to all of you, Bill Gates in the 1980s, 640K of RAM should be enough for anybody. I could go on, but I've probably made the point. But what does it mean for you sitting here today at your graduation? Well, I think there are a few things. Firstly, by the time you retire, it is inevitable that the world you're going to be working in is going to be very different because of that change. Secondly, I can almost guarantee that you will fail if you try too hard to predict exactly what the nature of that change is going to be. But most importantly, as a graduate, and as graduates collectively, you have a duty and a responsibility to help shape that future. What might that future see? Well, as I've already said, we don't know. But the changes are going to be significant. Let's turn the clock back the other way to give some idea of what's happened in a similar period of time. Your career, 45, 46 years from now, if this is your first degree, maybe longer if pensions get any worse. Let's look back, 1970. Cold War was at its peak. The Vietnam War was raging. That's probably just history book stuff for most of you. Richard Nixon was the US president. There were 2 Germanys at the time, and I can guarantee that there was nobody who could have foreseen that changing peacefully in the next 2 to 3 decades. The Beatles, who you may have heard of, had yet to split up. Relevant to today, only about 10% of the population went to university, a figure more than 40% now. If you were born in 1970, you were expected to live till about 65, 68 years. Half a lifetime later, that's already risen to 78, 79 years on average. Gallon of petrol, we use gallons then, cost around 20 pence, although given we'd only just lost decimalisation, most people knew it as 4 shillings. And travel, jet travel, was almost unheard of for any but the very, very rich. The technologies that have changed the world more than anything else in the last 2 decades, the digital technologies, they were there, but they were limited and very, very expensive. The best IBM computer at the time, the great-grandfather, great-grandmother of the desktop computer you have at home, was very expensive and not very powerful. It ran about 200,000 times more slowly than that very cheap desktop computer you have sitting at home now. And it was expensive, especially the memory. On purchase, this very expensive computer had 8 kilobytes of memory. And if you wanted to expand, you needed a very deep pocket. I couldn't find a 1970 price list, but I could find a 1979 advert announcing a price reduction from $75,000 a megabyte to $50,000 a megabyte. That's striking enough in itself. But what is far more striking if you put that in context? The iPhone, the Android phone you have in your pocket, in 1979 US dollars, would cost 1.6 billion. The challenge for you is to think and help create the $1 billion technology now that will sit in everybody's pockets by the time they retire. Just as technology's changed, medicine and medical practice has changed, in some cases beyond all recognition. I suspect none of you will have been to a school where a child had suffered from childhood polio and was in calipers. You certainly still saw it in 1970, a fact that's conveniently forgotten by those who argue against immunisation. The chance of surviving childhood cancer has increased year on year for 3 generations. Most kids now are cured. And we have the most incredible technology to image, assess, diagnose and treat that even when I graduated would have been unimaginable, let alone 1970. Lots of technology in the opening bit of my talk, but it's not just about technology. We need more than technology. Bertrand Russell, in his monograph Unpopular Essays, commented that change is one thing, progress is another. Change is scientific, progress is ethical. Change is indubitable, whereas progress is a matter of controversy. Technology-driven change becomes real progress when it is paired with considered thought, policy evaluation, good design, creativity, and entrepreneurship and innovation. There is no doubt whatsoever that we, as a society, will not fully reap the benefits of technology without matched strengths in the humanities, creative arts, and business. Without great design, many technologies will simply not deliver their full potential. And without good law and policy, society will not be able to fully benefit from the advances. And without entrepreneurship and innovation, we will not be able to reap the economic benefits for society more widely. All of this progress is in a large part only possible because of the parallel strands of education and research, the two things that define the university as a concept and this university in particular. They are why a university and a university education are so important and are why you've worked so hard to be sitting in the room today. Whatever career you enter, embrace change. Challenge, provoke, implement new ideas. Do not be comfortable. Do not be so proud as to not recognize the inevitability of that change and how it will challenge you. To return back to Bertrand Russell, the demand for certainty is one which is natural to man, but is nevertheless an intellectual vice. So long as men are not trained to withhold judgment in the absence of evidence, they will be led astray by cocksure prophets, and it is likely their leaders will either be ignorant fanatics or dishonest charlatans. To endure uncertainty is difficult, but so are most of the other virtues. At ARU, the strands that I've talked about, education and research, sit at our heart. We're committed to delivering an outstanding education, carrying out research and innovation that transforms lives and communities, and working hard to support economic, social, and cultural well-being in the many communities we serve. We look to see each of these aspects improve year on year, and this year has been no exception. We had our best ever results in the National Student Survey. The Sunday Times UK rankings placed the educational experience you had as amongst the top 20 in the country. And for the first time in our very short 24 years as a university, we featured in the Times Higher Global Education University Rankings, which places your university in the top 2 to 5% in the world. You, as our graduates, are an integral and key part of that success, and we thank you. Before I close, it would be remiss not to make special mention of your family and friends and other supporters, who, during the course of your studies and indeed in your education before you even came to us, have looked after you, morally, physically, spiritually, and one suspects more than a little financially. On behalf of everybody here, can we thank you for the support that you've given to make our graduates' journeys possible. I also have to acknowledge and thank the staff across the university who've contributed to so many aspects of your courses, together with our governing board, whose wisdom and guidance has helped shape this university. I wish you well wherever your degree takes you. I hope you do continue a relationship with us in the years to come. After all, as one of our graduates, our success and your success are now inextricably linked. Once again, congratulations, enjoy the day. Anglia Ruskin would not be where it is today without you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We now come to the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor. And I should explain at this point that each year we have a competition for the loudest applause at one of these ceremonies. So let's see what you can do this afternoon. I now call upon Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean Professor Gary Packham to read the names of those who will be presented from the Lord Ashcroft International Business School. Professor Packham.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you graduands from the Lord Ashcroft International Business School. For the award of Bachelor of Arts, International Business Strategy, Mohammed El Mohabad. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, International Business Strategy, Syed Hashin Abdullah Mohsin Alawali. Rashid Mohammed Al Hunayn. Simin Kai. Katie Cheng. Mohammed Rakib Hassan. Jade Lau. Daniel Mitrovic. Charles Nyasha Nyambaya. Li Fong Fao Pham. Phi Yen Inhai Pham. Enrique Jimenez Riaz. Sibi Uebas. Xiaoxiai Chang. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Business Economics, Jabran Ahmed. Paula Adaz Lacodain. Luke Bacon. Saif Ali Beksaria. Cheryl Bazuna. Philip Bruno. Pratik Chowdhury. Giovanna Juricic. Abir Ali Gill. Louis Gilmartin. Petia Georgieva Ivanova. Jack Robert Johnson. Jordan Lowe. Isabel Neto. Carlos Ordonez Amador. Dumitru Popoveniuk. Mehmet Sahin. Cameron Smith. Darshi Makala Wivanajidon. Rosie Wong. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Business Administration, Olajide Emmanuel Elrongdadi. Nicholas Roberts Pierre Okoni. Charlotte Marie Helen Calais. Helen Cecilia Clouet. Tracy Curalo. Tom Duvoil. Chang Huang Chung. Charlotte Marie Christian Littell. Manon Manood. Omoteo Eriololi Oluchimiyahan. Alex Malamati Maria Joseph Sautier de la Serres. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours International Business Management, Anil Alabe. Monica Tundi Apati. Regina Befault. Jessica Bonner. Hongbing Cheng. Abdul Salam A.L. Aghadi. Maximilian Felix Godet. Teresa Harris. Nilo Hotanjani. Sebastian Marcus Howarth. Stuart Hudson. Emily Lawrence. Harry Liminotos. Wad Adnan Yahya Manna. Alamin Mohamed Mungungu. Melkia Des Pavongini. Georgia Seaman. Harif Senevilas. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours International Management, Obaid Mohammed Al-Khorg Al-Slami. Alonso Cardoni. Anna Hammerschmidt. Kavindran Krishran. Azam Labid. Zoe Vin Leong. Camille Marishak. Holly Murrow. Daniel Owusu. Jamie Brian Patton. Lucas Ross. Juan Bosco Sanchez. Madeleine Yasmin Stahl. Jana Wagner. Wei Yang Wang. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours International Business, Ahmed Bairi. Isabel Defoe. Anna Catherine Doez. Kevin Dotzenberg. Marie Charlotte Fritzler. Mary-Louisa Keller. Veronica Prex. For the award of Graduate Diploma in Management, Sebastian Shokos. Vice-Chancellor, that partially completes the list of graduands for me to present to you today.
I would now invite Nikki Kershaw, University Librarian, to read the citation for the 2016 Alumni Success in Business Award, which will be made to Darrell Brown.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to read the citation for Darrell Brown, winner of this year's Alumni Success in Business Award. Darrell Brown is Mayor of Huntingdon, Chief Executive of the local medical charity MAGPAS, and a celebrated Anglia Ruskin alumnus. A relatively recent graduate of the Lord Ashcroft International Business School, Darrell gained his BA in Business and Management in 2007 and his MA in Management in 2009. And in the few short years since then, his career has progressed at an extraordinary pace. After graduating, Darrell joined MAGPAS, a local medical charity that provides pre-hospital critical care and retrieval, usually in the very early minutes after traumatic injury. Although initially employed in an interim operations role, Darrell used his well-honed business acumen to identify some serious administrative and financial challenges within the organisation, and he was subsequently appointed charity manager. Darrell set about developing the organisation's governance structure, bringing in additional business experience to support the existing clinical expertise and creating a more commercially focused board of trustees. His efforts did not go unrecognised, and in late 2011, Darrell was appointed Chief Executive of MAGPAS at the age of 27. In his new role, Darrell identified an urgent need to generate a regular and sustainable income for the charity, a challenge he overcame by founding a new lottery scheme, which attracted 25,000 paying members within its first year. The MAGPAS lottery now has over 55,000 players. When Darrell first took over as Chief Executive, MAGPAS was struggling to raise 200,000 a year. 2 years later, revenue had increased fivefold, and today the organisation raises over £4 million a year. This vital funding enables MAGPAS to train, equip and deploy an air ambulance and accompanying physician-paramedic team known as Helimedics, who attend medical emergencies in the East of England and East Midlands when the NHS ambulance service requests on-scene medical support. The charity was founded 45 years ago by Anglia Ruskin honorary degree holder Neville Silverstone, and it seems fitting that the organisation should today be led by another Anglia Ruskin award holder. In addition to his demanding day job, Darrell also finds time to fulfil a variety of commitments within the wider community. Darrell served as a member of the Intercollegiate Board for Training in Pre-Hospital Emergency Medicine, which achieved GMC accreditation to create a subspeciality of medicine known as Pre-Hospital Emergency Medicine. He is a member of Huntingdon Council, serving as Deputy Mayor from May 2015 to May 2016, and is currently serving as Mayor of Huntingdon. Darrell is also a District Councillor for Huntingdonshire District Council, where he has an Executive Councillor portfolio and Cabinet position. Darrell is a Governor with Cambridge University Hospital's NHS Foundation Trust and served as lead governor from 2014 to 2016. He has also been a community first responder, trained to provide emergency medical aid to patients with time-critical medical problems, such as cardiac arrest or breathing difficulties. As an Anglia Ruskin alumnus with a remarkable track record of success achieved so early in his career, Darryl will be an inspirational role model for our business students. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Darryl Brown as winner of the 2016 Alumni Success in Business Award. The award is kindly sponsored by Luminous Group and will be presented to Darryl by their Chief Executive, Dr. Chan Abraham.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests and students, what an honour it is to be here today after that ever so slightly embarrassing introduction. It's quite incredible to think it was only 7 to 8 years ago that I was sat down here as a student collecting my undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications. And when I was thinking back at the award receivers back then, little did I think I would be up here in 7 years receiving an award myself. What I tried to think back to was the inspirational words that some of those award winners spoke, and they were truly inspirational. One common theme that I think ran throughout was have courage in your convictions. Something I think sadly I would have to add to that to succeed is to be ready to work as hard as you ever thought possible and to be prepared to continue learning. It doesn't stop here. I have to quickly rewind to about 2000, 2003 to high school, where I actually was too sick to sit my GCSEs and A-levels and came out of school with very little qualifications. And it was actually meetings with Cambridge Regional College and with this university that set me on the track to where I am today, for which I'm forever grateful. Upon completing my master's degree, it wasn't easy. I spent 6 months with a dream of working in the city, in banking, on a very fat salary and a fat bonus. And I qualified in 2009 in the financial crash. And I spent 6 months writing to postgraduate training schemes to banks, and in many cases not even receiving a response. In that time, I worked at a very well-known local supermarket on the checkouts just for something to do. And it was one day, reading through the Cambridge News, other newspapers are available, I should say that, when I found an advert for a 6-month maternity contract with Magpas, a very well-known charity that had been running for over 30 years. I went along with little hope, thinking I might get the job, and to my surprise, I got it. It was an incredible learning curve. When I joined the charity, which had been set up by a group of local physicians, it was an ad hoc voluntary service. We were raising £10,000 to £20,000 a month and spending nearly £50,000 per month deploying our medical teams on board the police helicopter. Fast forward 7 years and we're raising nearly £5 million, flying to 13 counties, attending over 1,000 patients a year and saving hundreds of lives. And that's not my achievement, and that's the thing I want to share today. It's the achievement of a very strong team. I'm fortunate today to be joined by my family, friends and colleagues, and the most important thing to remember is you're only as strong as the team that's around you. From there I got ever so slightly frustrated that the patients we attended went into local hospitals and I had very little insight into the patient journey. So at the request of my trustees, stood in an election at Addenbrooke's Hospital as a governor, and I think I was the youngest governor to ever be appointed. Having done that, I got equally frustrated at what happened to the patients at the other end, social care and rehabilitation. And again, at the request of my trustees, thought about standing in local government and stood for election as a town and district councillor last year. I think now the portfolio of work that I do, most of which is honorary within the NHS, gives me a fantastic strategic view. And when I look back, I wouldn't change for 1 second working in the city on a fat salary for what I do today. So my message to you is work hard, continue to learn, and have courage in your convictions. Thank you.
Darrell, thank you. We now continue the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor, and I call again on Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean Professor Gary Packham to read the names of remaining students from the Lord Ashcroft International Business School.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to continue to present to you graduates from the Lord Ashcroft International Business School. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours International Business, Christine Altman. Beatrice Fromm. Hakan Okosh. Sonia Sedosa. Andrea Stiebel. Andrea Voigt. Sophie Louisa Vena. Floren Manfred Zitman. For the award of Bachelor of Science, Accounting and Finance, Olasunkomi Adedolapo Sokunle. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Accounting and Finance, Mohammed Fayaz bin Azar. Anastasia Burrows. Alexandra Claire Burnham-Catton. Aaron Castell. Shane Sheruka. Jason Chan. Duncan Colvin. Charlotte Cox. Fiona Goddard. Diana Goetze. Kirsty Hewitt. Harry Howlett. Rubaba Husseini. Ryan Hoop. Victoria Urton. Timothy John Jumanwan. Cleopatra Terrero Yvonne Kamaru. Harry James Kennedy. Alex Boo Wayne Koo. Elizabeth Lovett. Mubarak Madasar. Ashit Mantora. Brian Mapufu. Taylor Murray. Beiruz Omar. Abimbola Oyebola. Irina Petronati. Joe Poyser. Golkan Sahin. Cosmo Dalton Schmidt. Alicia Sen. Saida Rida Fatima Shah. Arslan Shahid. Natasha Sharma. Scott Stannard. Natalie Elizabeth Stott. Tori Tanzer. Henry Valentino Sanders. Jemima Violet Wabanka. Samuel John Wilkinson. Jordan Williams. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours Business Management, Josephine Abena Konadu Duku. the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Business Management and Finance, Ruaten Tan. The award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Psychology, Gabriel Adesisi. The award of Master of Business Administration, Erica Hall. The award of Master of Arts International Business, Christina Josa. The award of Master of Science International Business, Peter Jabosi Azu. Boris Bakov. Lydia Wati Hasmini. Emmanuel Maxime Patrick Juva. Lulia Costina. Lena Vera Kramer. Philip Jonas Lauritsen. Melanie Laura Maestri. Vincent Morel. Soritri Morant Hurong. Irana Nosson. Albert Ober Oberio. Yabenga Mayowa Oledeji. Jimisi Cornelius Opara. Daria Olova. Burak Omak. Julie Marie Matilda Perales. Rachel Christina Schneider. The award of Master of Science Management, Estela Alvarez Nunez. Danielle Bertoloni. Eva Koiko. Safia Priya Kupaswamy. Chin Lee. Alalibo Martins Ransom. Kathleen Jennifer McComb. Chisholm Enimaka Enkemedu. Priya Pichamufu. Sufa Shannon Sundrapandi. Nathavet Teja Papal. Nicole Teblanche. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present those who have been awarded higher research degrees. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, thesis entitled Illuminating the Way, an Emergent Theory of Place-Based Leadership Development, Robert John Paul Worrell. Vice-Chancellor, that completes the list of graduands for me to present to you today.
We're now nearing the end of the ceremony, but first I would like to ask Saida Shah, one of our wonderful new graduates, to come to the podium to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of those receiving awards today. Saida.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow graduates, it is my pleasure to offer the vote of thanks today for myself and on behalf of all the graduates graduating at this ceremony. Graduation is an occasion of happiness, blessings, achievement, and excitement of coming future. We all started this journey some years ago. The day we entered the university, our minds were filled with some doubts, but with the passage of time, these doubts were shaded out. I remember when I first started university, I was a very shy person, still am. Lacked confidence to initiate a conversation, speak in front of public, but with the various skill building programs, and Yale University has helped me to become a better person. My legs are shaking at the moment, which is very weird. Okay, here today, we sit amongst our family members and friends. We all shared this journey all together. We all went through highs and lows of life together. Either it's spending several hours in library or locking ourselves in our rooms during exam and overloading ourselves with caffeine. We thank these people for always being there in time of need. Thank you for your support. On this occasion, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our teachers, staff members, and all those people who motivated us to do better and better. We were given difficult tasks during our studies, which we felt were nearly impossible for us to complete. But with their cooperation and help, we managed to complete them all. The teachers and seniors were an inspiration for us who encouraged and showed us the right way to follow and achieve our tasks. We thank them for supporting us and devoting substantial amount of time to ensure our studies are stimulating and of high value. As today sadly draws to the end of this chapter, I now thank everyone here and those who cannot be here for celebrating this success with us. Thank you for listening, and congratulations, class of 2016.
Saida, thank you. I now call for one final time on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin.
And now, will all those who've been presented to me here on stage please stand? As Vice-Chancellor of Anglia Ruskin University, I hereby admit you to the degrees, diplomas, and awards for which you have been presented to me today. As a member now of the community of scholars, take all that you have learned into society and uphold the values of freedom and thought and scholarship. Our warmest congratulations to each and every one of you. Well done. As each of you who have crossed the stage today, your friends and supporters and family in the audience have cheered and applauded and celebrated your achievements. As we've already made mention, many of your journeys would not have been possible without their support. And in recognition of that, could you turn and face them and return the honour? If you remain standing, once again, very well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our proceedings, and so I declare graduation concluded. Will you please now all stand for the academic procession?